Tony from Ocean Pilates, and these are some of my beginner warm-up exercises that you can do at home. I've done this as a full length warm-up, so it's going to be about 15-20 minutes. If you just come onto the mat and lie down, and just pop the ankles and knees together and the hands along towards your heels. Keep the heels together, lift up the toes and place the toes down, and then lift the heels up and put the toes down so that your ankles, knees and hips are all in alignment with your shoulder. First of all, I just want you to do some breathing. So we're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So you're just going to do 2 or 3 of those. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to try and settle your pelvis so it's in a neutral position, as in you're not imprinting into the spine or into the mat rather, and you're not overly or excessively arching into your lower back. Somewhere in the middle. So if you had laser beams on your hip bones, they would be directly up to the ceiling. Now what I want you to do is imagine that you've got a clock on your tummy, and the clock face is facing up with 12 towards your tummy button and 6 towards your pubic bone, and each hip is 3 and 9. So from here, we're just going to try and do a little bit of pelvic rocking. So you're just going to rock the pelvis back. So you're going to imprint into the spine so there's no gap here. And then extend the tailbone towards your heels and get a little bit more of an arch in your lower back. So again, you're going to pull the pelvis back, so imprint the spine into the mat, and then extend the tailbone in the other direction. And we've got 2 more of those. So if you can, it's an exhale as you imprint the spine, and you can pull those tummy muscles into your body. And then inhale as you heavy the tailbone. And you've got 1 more here. So so exhale as you imprint into the mat. And then go the other way, so towards your 6. And then settle somewhere in the middle. So with each hip being 3 and 9, I'm going to get you to heavy the pelvis towards your 9. And the right, for me, I'm heavying into my left, my right hip is coming up. And then I'm going to even in the centre. And then heavy towards my 3. And then my 9, my hip to my left, is rotating towards the right. And then back to the centre. So you're going to heavy towards one hip, the other hip will rotate up, and then the other way. And then settle somewhere in the middle. Now we're going to do a circle all the way around. So heavy in towards your 12. Go towards your 3, so your 9, your hip will lift up. Heavy towards your 6, and the other way. And come all the way back, sort of like you're hula hooping. The pelvis is rotating round the spine as you rotate. And now we're going to go the other way. So heavy into your 9, then towards your 6. You're going to extension of the pelvis there, round towards your 3, imprint in towards your 12, and 1 more. So in a circular motion, working the pelvis. And then back to the centre, and then settle somewhere in the middle. So you've got neutral pelvis, so we're even in our pelvis, and neutral spine. We've got the natural curves of our lower back and our neck in place there. This next one is called a sachet. What I want you to do is keep your feet firmly planted on the floor, and you're going to reach your right knee forward. So if you reach the right knee forward, the right hip will rotate over to your left-hand side. And then let that thigh bone come back to the start position. And then reach the left knee forward and rotate. Keeping the shoulder down. And then back to the start position. And we'll do another 3 or 4 on each side. So reach the knee forward. And return. And the other side. So as you do this, you should be able to get a little bit more range as the muscles and the connective tissue start to stretch and lengthen. And really get that reach and stretch as the hip comes up. Let's go 1 more each side. So reach the right knee forward. Rotate the pelvis over to the left and back back to centre, and then the other side. Really reach the knee and then come back and settle somewhere in the middle. Now for your pelvic curls, I want you to stand into your feet, so you've got that tripod through the back of the ball of the big toe, little toe and your heel. Reach the hands towards your heels so you can get some extra space between the shoulders and the ears. Now you're going to take a breath in. On your exhale, start to imprint the spine into the mat. Lift your bottom all the way up. You're going to stand into your feet and to your hands, get some tricep activation. And then what I want you to do is reach the knees over your toes, and that should fire into your hamstrings a little bit more. You're going to inhale here, and then exhale as you articulate the spine all the way down. Now you're trying to get the ribs down first, before the waist, and then the pelvis, and then settle in the middle. So again, you're going to take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, start to pull the tummy muscles on. Rock the pelvis back towards your 12. Stand into your feet. Round the spine as you really lift up. Now on your inhale, reach the knees over your toes. Keep standing into the hands as well. And then on your exhale, start to imprint the spine all the way down. So I would like you to go from the neck, upper ribs, lower ribs, waist comes next, then the pelvis, and then settle somewhere in the middle. We've got 2 more of these. So take a breath in and prepare. Exhale, pull the tummy muscles on, rock the pelvis back, lift all the way up, stand into your hands and feet. Inhale as you stretch the knees over the toes. Exhale as you come all the way down. So upper ribs, lower ribs, get the waist, then the pelvis, and settle in the middle. And you've got 1 more. Breath in, tummy muscles on, stand into your hands and feet, articulate all the way up. Inhale here, reach the knees over your toes, and exhale as you go all the way down. So upper ribs, lower ribs, waist, and your pelvis. The next exercise is a psoas stretch. So I'm going to get you to have your left ankle and thread that behind your right foot. And you can just let that, I want you to connect at the ankles and just let that left leg spiral out. Now you may be getting a stretch already. This muscle attaches at the spine, crosses through the pelvis and attaches at the front of the legs, if you like. This is your fight and flight muscle, so it can be quite tight. And it's also one of the deepest core muscles. So you're connecting at the ankles, and what I want you to do is reach your right knee forward. The pelvis will rotate over towards your left, and you might feel that stretch in the front of the thigh or in the back. Any one of those areas there is very common. And then just let the thigh sink back into the hip socket. You can see I'm actually quite tight on this side. This is one of my tight stretches for my hips. So take a breath in and exhale as you reach your knee forward. Rotate the pelvis. You can lean over into the thigh. Take a nice breath here and exhale as you come back again. And you've got 2 more of those. So you're going to reach the knee forward. Rotate the pelvis, that happens naturally. And then come back. And then you've got 1 more. So again, reach the knee forward. Let the pelvis rotate over towards your left. And then come back to the start position. And then change the legs over. So take out the left. Thread the right ankle behind the left leg. Let the knee go down. Take a breath in and exhale as you reach the left knee forward. The pelvis will rotate over to the right. And then come back down again. And you've got 3 more here. So exhale as you push, rotate the pelvis, reach with the knee, stand into your foot so that the ankles are connected. And down again. And 2 more. Reach the knee forward. And back down. And you've got 1 more. And come back down again. Pop lock the ankles and knees together. Now I'm on a mat, a Cadillac table, so I can't actually get my hands on the floor, but you can take your arms out to the side. I'm just going to have mine down next to me. The ankles and knees are together, and you're keeping them together as you inhale and take the knees over to one side. Now I'm going over to the right, but my left heel and foot has come off the mat. Trying to keep the shoulders down. And then keep gluing the inner thighs together as you exhale and come back to the start position. And then we're going to go the other way. So you're going to inhale as you come over to one side. Keep reaching out through the top leg, the legs stay glued together. And exhale back to the start position. And again, inhale as you come over. We've got pelvis and waist rotation, a little bit of rotation through the ribs. Good, keep reaching through that top knee and back to the start position on your exhale, and then this side, and we've got one more each side. And exhale back to the start position. And one more. So inhale as you go over towards your right. Exhale as you come back to the centre. And the other way. Alright, now come onto your side. And we're going to go into a sideline rotation. So I want your hands behind your head and stacking the knees. And bring the arm in front of you. So you've got your knees at hip height and the ankles are just below. From here you're going to inhale as the head and shoulders come up, and then exhale as you rotate all the way over. Now what I'm trying to do is keep that knee reaching forward as I rotate backwards and reaching out through my elbow. And then exhale as you come all the way back. So you're going to inhale as you come up, exhale as you rotate, and heavy the head into your hands. And then come all the way back down again. We've got two more here. So inhale as you come up, exhale as you rotate, and come back. And again, another one. Reaching out through the knee and the elbow. And heavy your head into your hands as you get that rotation and heaviness through the upper torso. And then come back. And then you can support your head and support. We're just going to do a little bit of leg work. Extend the top leg. So really get that reach through the heel. And we want the hip bones facing forward. So from here, just float the leg up to hip height and down again. And again, up and down. We're just going to do 10 here. That's 3. Keep reaching through the heel. And 5. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Now keep the leg elevated. Point the toes and turn the thigh out so you're in an external rotation. And we're going into circles. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. That's about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to go 10 the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then bring the leg together. So into some clams. Open the legs out, so you go into external rotation and come back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Open out. The leg stays in external rotation. Extend the leg, bring the heels back together and down again. So open, extend, heels and down. That's 3. The idea is to keep the leg at the same angle. 4, really get into some stabilising glute work. I think that's about 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Last one. Keep the knees together, lift the ankles so the thigh bone goes into internal rotation. Ankles together and open out. 1 and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're going to change sides. So if you turn over and then have your hands behind your head and the knees are stacked. So from here you're going to inhale as the elbow comes up, exhale as you rotate all the way over, trying to extend out through the top knee and the top elbow, and then come all the way back down to the start position. So inhale and then exhale and down. So 2 more. And exhale as you go over. Keep reaching out through that top elbow and the knee. And you've got 1 more here. And then come back. Now, place the hand down, extend the top leg, and you're going to lift it and lower. Oops, I'll just move. So lift the leg up and down. 2, get that reach out through the heel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Point the toe, turn out, and circles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 the other way. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, bring the leg back, and we're going into some clowns. So externally rotate as you open out the leg and bring that back to the home position. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold the leg out, extend the leg into that external rotation, bring that back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring the leg back now. Lift the ankle, internally rotate the thigh bone, ankles together and open out. That's 1. Again, we're going to 10. And 2, externally rotate. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now come onto all fours. I'm going to go into a thread the needle type exercise. So what I want you to do is internally rotate one hand, so the fingers are pointing towards your other hand, and then thread your arm through. So you're going to take your shoulder through and look towards the hand that goes through. Now from here, just shuffle your knees back a little bit and extend the elbows so you can get a little bit more space through the torso. And then you're going to come up, internally rotate, thread your hand through, lean into the shoulder, shuffle your knees away if you need to. So we've got a bit of an upper body rotation, a bit of stretch through the shoulder. And we'll do 1 more on each side. So internally rotate, thread your arm through, reach out through your bottom and extend out through the elbow too. And you've got 1 more on this side. So internally rotate and stretch. And then come up onto all fours for some cat and dog stretching. So from here, I want you to have your knees relatively under your hips and the hands just slightly forward with the shoulders. From here, take a breath in to prepare. And you're going to exhale and tuck the tailbone under and go into a cat stretch. Now I'm actually having most of my weight actually through the heel of my hand and not my fingers. And then inhale as you go through into an extension. So push the floor away, lift the head and shoulders up, stick your bottom out. And then from here, tuck the tailbone under, go back into your cat stretch, so round the back. The load is more through the palm of the heel of my hand than my fingertips. And then into your dog stretch. Now we'll go 2 more. So tuck the tailbone under, round the spine. Good. And then again into your dog stretch. Stick your bottom out, push the floor away. And 1 more. Tuck the tailbone under, round the spine. And then come back to your neutral position. So from here, look over your shoulder into your happy puppy. You're trying to take your shoulder to your hip and centre and the other way. And then again, look over your shoulder, trying to get a bit of a side bend and the other way. And 2 more each side, look over your shoulder and centre. And last time, side bend, centre and the other way. Now from here, keep the toes together, put your bottom on your heels, separate the knees, stretch your arms forward into a rest position. So just breathe, you're trying to get the ribs down towards the mat, so nice big deep breaths. And then walk your hands to one side, and you're going to have a bit of a side stretch. So reach out. So I've taken my hands over to my left, stretch out through the right fingers and arm, and you should get a little bit of an extra stretch down the right hand side. Come back to centre. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So stretch out through the left. And then back to the centre. Let's go 1 more on each side here. So really get that stretch out through the fingers. Try and lower the chest towards the mat. And centre. And then come onto your tummy for a little bit of back extension before we finish. So you're going to have making a triangle with your fingers. From here, the legs are long behind you, you can just put your forehead down. Now I would like you to press your weight through your finger pads and your elbows here. Now you're going to pick up your tummy muscles and inhale as you lift up into a bit of an extension. And exhale as you go down. So again, inhale as you come up. And exhale as you go down. Now with your eye line, you're sort of just keeping your eyes towards the front of your mat. So I don't want you overextending into your neck. So think a nice long neck. And again, 1 more here, and I'm going to change slightly. So inhale as you lift. Exhale as you go down. Now I'm just changing my hands up to just above your shoulders. So again, same thing, inhale here. You can either just come up onto your forearms, or you could slide the hands forward and come all the way up into a bit of a deeper back extension or swan, and inhale as you go down. Exhale. So inhale as you go up, my apologies. Inhale as you go up, and exhale as you go down. And you've got 2 more here. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you go down. Last one. And inhale as you lift. And then push back onto your heels just to finish off with the final stretch. You're going to curl the toes under. See if you can sit on your heels and have a stretch. Just take hold of your arms. You're going to look over your shoulder. And then eyes centre, and then the other side. And centre, we've got 1 more in each direction. So hold on to your arms, look over your shoulder. And centre and the other side. And then from here, release the hands. Put your hands down. Curl the toes under, they're still there. And just push back into a downward dog position. And you can bend 1 knee. Just get that stretch through the leg. And change. and change. And then from here, you can stand up and you're all done. Thanks so much.